everyone, to the A.D.D show, where we're not always right, but we're never wrong. As always, I'm Mark.
And I'm Hans, and welcome back, everybody. We are in week 12?
12.
Wow.
Happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. We're recording this Thanksgiving morning. It's the best time we had. We get 3 games a day. We get the bunch on the weekend, and it is freezing in this garage. I can see my breath in here.
Yes, it's good football weather today. Good football weather.
The reason we wanted it cold in here, so you guys understand the commitment, we wanted to make it the temperature of Lambeau in here. That was the goal today.
Yes.
My toes are cold, but how are you, Mark?
I'm good. I should have listened to the wife and turned the heater on a little earlier than right before we started. So
our heater,
it is 46 degrees, right
here.
now. So
Yep.
it's good.
That's a crisp 46 degrees. Let's be clear. It is a concrete floor.
Yes.
And we are sitting on like wicker chairs. It's pretty cold.
So I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
What is your sense for the last, I would probably say 3-4 weeks of the NFL?
It's kind of what I said before we went on air. It's my sense is that there isn't one clear team better than the rest. I think the Cardinals are very good, and that luckily they have a backup, like in McCoy, who's winning games without Kyler Murray. But in general, I'm not sold on the Bucs. I'm still not sold on Dallas. I'm really not sold on the Rams. They've looked kind of bad the last few weeks.
Yep.
I am starting to get sold on the Patriots. Bengals still look good. I'm not sold on the Chiefs still. The Bills are 6-4. So all these teams that were playoff eligible teams last year, they're just not looking good to me. And I think by this point you should have that thought going, they're the team to beat. And I haven't found that yet. I really haven't. That's what I said in the group the other day. Like, I got a little mad at Mark, but I was like, same thing with the Cowboys. Like, they're 7-3. Both their losses were against Super Bowl teams last year by only a total of 19 points. But you got to win those games. But I can't pick them as consistency. I can't pick these teams right now because they're losing games they shouldn't lose.
Right.
Buccaneers the same way.
So the thing that bothers me is they were Super Bowl teams last year.
Yeah.
Okay. The Chiefs and the Buccaneers were Super Bowl teams last year. Mainly the Chiefs have not been playing like a Super Bowl team. Like the Chiefs offense is broken.
But they went into a 4-game winning streak into us.
Yeah, no, they're winning.
Yes.
And they're learning how to win without being a 30-point a game team. So kudos to them for turning this around. And everybody gets so enamored with the offense. Yeah. And, what's wrong with the Chiefs? What's wrong with the Chiefs? They won 5 games in a row. What do you mean what's wrong with them? Like, winning's winning.
Yeah.
And that's what the Cardinals are doing. Like, with the backup, it hasn't been pretty, but they're winning.
Yeah.
And the Packers, they're winning.
Yeah.
And yes, every team right now has a bad loss.
Yep.
I think I saw on NFL Network the other day, there's this either the 4th or the 5th week in a row, a team that has 1 or 2 wins beat a first-place team. Mm-hmm. That, to me, is mind-boggling because usually you see those, especially this time of year, this late in the season, you see those teams getting destroyed.
Yep.
But these teams are, and again, the Lions lost a heartbreaker again, to the Browns. Like, they're in the games. They're not good. They're not good, don't get me wrong, but they are in these games, and you could probably flip a coin on 7 of their games could have gone the other way.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're a 7-win team. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But they have at least 3 or 4 wins under their belt.
Well, that was the Chargers last year. They went 7-9, and 7 or 8 of the other games total were by 3 points or less.
Yeah.
That's just bad commitment with a minute left. That's all that is. Bad fourth quarter play.
And then this week you're looking at it and you're like, like, this should be, you're having games where these games right now, and I'm going to, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 games, and I'm not counting NFC playing AFC. I'm just counting AFC versus AFC and NFC versus NFC. 6 games where a team could go from in the playoffs to out of the playoffs fast.
Yep.
You've got Steelers, Bengals.
Yep.
You've got Titans, Patriots. Chargers, Broncos, Rams, Packers, Vikings, 49ers, Browns, Ravens. And all those teams are in or just outside of the playoffs. And all of them are, some of them are playing really bad, and some of them are playing unbelievable football.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to mention the Raiders-Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Raiders are still in playoff contention. You're looking at Buccaneers-Colts. Probably the hottest team in football right now is the Indianapolis Colts.
Mm-hmm.
And the Eagles versus the Giants. Don't sleep on the Eagles. Like you said it before, the Eagles are winning games.
3 games behind Dallas. And not in a bad way. That's creeping up. We had a 6-game lead 2 weeks ago on these teams. So
right, and
the math doesn't work out, but you guys know what I meant.
Right, and it's funny because if you listen to Philadelphia fans, they don't want Jalen Hurts.
No, he's not that bad.
Okay, but you look at the stats for 2 years.
Yeah.
Somebody put it in our group chat.
It was me.
And it said Hurts versus Lamar. First 2 years, and there was barely a difference. Barely a difference. And if Lamar had the edge in one category, Jalen had it in the other category, or they were tied.
I think the only difference was Lamar had a lot more wins in that time, though.
Yes,
but still, the
it's
stats are very similar, and stats are real.
Right, and the thing that I said in there is the reason why he's not compared to a Lamar Jackson or as a top quarterback in the league is because he doesn't have the dynamic win percentage.
Probably.
Now Lamar stepped into a situation where the team was set.
Yeah.
And the coaches were smart enough to put the offense around him.
The offensive line was there. They had the...
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, again, now, me personally, with Lamar, I love the regular season stats.
Yeah.
I mean, he's realistically going to get 4,000 yards passing, 1,000 yards rushing this year. That's unheard of, okay? Like, I get how good this guy is playing. His passer rating is a lot higher than what anybody ever would think it would be. But right now, I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, Jalen Hurts is doing that. He's winning games right now. The team is rallying around him, and that team has a lot of first-round picks.
Yeah, they do.
Because with the Colts winning right now, you're not benching Wentz.
No.
So you're getting their first-round pick. And it's, so the Eagles have a chance to go scary good in a couple years.
Yeah.
If not next year, if they hit on these draft picks. But the NFL, the Texans beat the Titans. I know Henry's gone. But the Titans are still a damn good team. The Dolphins are all of a sudden winning games. Washington beat a good Panthers team, and Washington's been playing like ass.
Well, they beat the Buccaneers the week before.
Right. So two wins against playoff caliber teams, and now you got to say, okay, well, Washington's behind Philly, but Washington's catching fire, and we all know that if this defense figures it out, the offense is good enough to put up enough points to win games. And that's scary because I don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
No.
But they could be spoilers.
They can be.
The Eagles can be spoilers. And if I'm, and I'll say Dallas because I think you play Washington twice and Philadelphia once, right?
Twice.
I
think so. I just looked up their schedule.
That's, for me, especially the way Dallas plays.
Sorry, Eagles once, Giants once, DC twice. So you have four division games left, okay? Yes, I still believe Dallas is the best team in the division, and they're going to win the division. But here's the thing. I could see you going 2-2 in those 4 games. Yeah.
And that's not probably being unrealistic. Like a couple weeks ago, if I said that, you would have been like, dude, none of these teams have 2 wins.
Probably not, because the NFC East is like that every year. As a fan, I'm used to losing the last week of the season to a team we shouldn't lose to.
Right.
It's just like you guys playing the Steelers this week. You should potentially win that game, but at the same time, it's the Steelers. It's a rival. You guys are really bad against the Steelers.
Yes, and let me put this out there. So the Bengals are 6-4.
Yeah.
It's a great season so far.
Yeah.
They upped their win total from last year.
Yep.
They upped their win total every year that Zach Taylor has been there. That's great, okay? But this team is so mind-numbingly frustrating because you play so bad in the first half that and then you turn it on. Like it was 32-13 the final score against the Raiders. I think they scored 17 points in the last 5 minutes of that game. So you're looking at 16-13, something like that game. It was 19-13 with 5 minutes left, and then you score a couple touchdowns. And I'm like, you can't consistently do this. If you're a good team, you come out in the first half and you destroy these teams.
Pretty much.
The Bengals are better on paper than the Steelers.
Yes.
They should beat the Steelers badly.
Should.
But they're not. I don't know if they're going to. But the first game they played them, they beat them soundly. 27-10. It wasn't close. Go. And then the Steelers lose a heartbreaker to the Chargers. Came back in that game. Had no business coming back in that game. But they did. And these teams are all so even. Even like the Chargers-Broncos game. Mm-hmm. Chargers are 6-4. Broncos are 5-5. They're even. And you look at their rosters on paper, and it shouldn't be even.
No.
But the way they're playing is even. Mm-hmm. The Lord said, "May there be light."
The one light when waiting 25 minutes to come on just turned on. Okay.
Vikings 49ers. That is a crucial game this week for the NFC. Mm-hmm. That is a crucial game for both teams. Loser loses that tiebreaker. You know what I mean? Obviously, loser loses the tiebreaker, but the tiebreaker is going to come in handy this year.
Yeah.
It's so much fun to watch for me. As somebody that pays attention to fantasy, as we do, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Fantasy's been so frustrating this year.
This is one of the most frustrating years I've had. And I'm 6-4 in one league, very proud of that, but it is mind-numbingly frustrating this year.
You can't be 6-4. Yeah, you didn't have a bye week.
Really? I don't know. Keep going, though.
Maybe 7-4?
It's something like that.
Or 6-5.
I don't know. We'll find out. Keep going.
Without further ado, I just, like you said, there's no front runner.
Not right now.
And the NFC has better records than the AFC top teams. But I still don't see them being head and shoulders above the AFC. And we're going to get into some of these games. And like you said, the Patriots...
Sorry, 6-5.
6-5.
Yeah.
The Patriots are in first place in the AFC East. Mm-hmm. If you said that at the beginning of the year that after week 11 the Patriots would be in first place over Buffalo, you would not have got. I would have taken that bet.
I projected them to finish second, but I did not project them to be in first right now.
No,
I didn't think they'd be advancing the rookie like they are, and they're doing a really good job at that.
Yes. So, all right. So without further ado. That was weird.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
You're just craving the turkey dinner, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's turkey and the ham calling your name. I know.
No, mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing,
cranberry salt.
I love overeating on Thanksgiving.
I like eating lots of food and then falling asleep halfway through the Dallas game, which I'm a Dallas fan. But
you're going to make it to the halfway through the Dallas game? I might not make it to the end of the first game.
Wait, we're watching the first game?
I hope it's on at Joe's
I thought
house.
we were going to. It might. I heard they're moving it to the Big Ten network.
Oh, well, Hulu has the Big Ten network.
Oh, okay, we're good. We're good. That was a jab at how bad this first game is.
Bears-Lions.
You want to go first?
I had a hard time picking this one.
It's sad, dude, I know.
And it's sad. I have no faith in Dalton.
No.
I have no faith in Andy Dalton. He played well last week coming in.
Do you know what he does?
He plays well when he comes off the bench.
Exactly. But as a starter, he's doo-doo.
Yes. Swift is a beast.
Absolutely.
He is somebody that if you looked at his stats, you'd be like, oh, crap. He should be in top 10 MVP votes right now. And I'm going to say top 10 because I don't think he's top 5. But top 10 MVP votes. Yeah. And he's on a winless team.
Mm-hmm. They have a tie. I'm just kidding. That kind of counts.
They do have a tie.
That kind of counts, man.
Yeah, it does. So I picked the Bears based off of even though the Lions play unbelievable on Thanksgiving.
Yes,
the Lions always figure out a way to win on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
But I'm going to go with the Bears. I know I'm going to lose this game. I have a gut feeling the Lions are going to win, but I don't even know their backup's name.
Who, the Lions?
Yeah.
Quarterback?
Yeah.
He's not playing.
Goff's playing?
Goff's playing. They announced last night he's playing today.
Goff's playing.
Yes.
Oh, I'm definitely picking the Bears then.
You think Tim Boyle was going to beat them? Stop it,
dude! I have no faith in Jared Goff. Goff went from a 4,000-yard season, 30 touchdown quarterback to how do you play?
That's a McVay offense.
But God,
imagine McVay with Heineke. Sorry, DC. Too soon. All right, so I'm going with the Lions. This is not my upset of the week, but I got the Lions winning this game. Gut feeling, I've always watched the Lions on Thanksgiving. I'm a Dallas fan, so I always watch the Dallas game, and it starts with the Lions. Yep. The Bears are not playing good football right now. I think they have the better weapons, but I'm telling you, the Lions, for me, I have this gut feeling. Swift is playing good. Hawkinson's going to get so many targets. The defense is garbage, let's be clear. But I just have a squeaky feeling it's going to be like a 12 to 8 game, two weird numbers. The Lions are going to win this game, and it's going to be so ugly that people are going to be like, you can't turn the TV off. Because it's going to come down to the fourth quarter, it's going to be 3-3.
It's going to be 3-3.
Actually, it probably won't be because both offenses are pretty doo-doo,
All right,
too.
so there was a game last week, now that you mentioned that, or 2 weeks, it was 41-15. Colts Bills. Mm-hmm. Do you know that's the first time in NFL history a game has ended 41-15?
I don't believe it.
Look it up.
Wow.
Yep. So, little trivia there for you.
There you go. What's the only score you can't get in football?
I don't know.
1.
1?
You can't end a game with 1. Can't score just 1 point.
That's a good point. So 1-0 is you can do 0-0.
It's not just a good point. It's a 1 point.
Yeah. Wow. All right, dad joke already in the beginning of the show. Nice.
Beginning. We're 15 minutes in. We're a third.
Raiders Cowboys, the afternoon game. Okay, so here's the thing. Cowboys have looked bad against the AFC West.
Yes.
They've looked really bad against the AFC West. The Raiders, too much going on.
Yeah.
Too much going on. Yep. I think this is being on the road. This is a good thing for the Raiders. Mm-hmm. I think I said it right after the Ruggs thing. Mm-hmm. They were on the road or right after Gruden, they were on the road at the Denver, and they went out and they won. And I said it was a good thing they were on the road. Yep. I mean, you got Gruden, you got Ruggs, you got Arnett. Really, dude?
Yeah.
So you have one person killing somebody. You have another person
killing 2. Well, the dog too, but yeah.
Yeah. You have another person threatening to kill fans. You have another one suing the NFL now. It's
a lawsuit as crazy as he might actually win.
Yeah. I just look at the
crazy.
Raiders as in too much turmoil.
Yeah.
Now the Cowboys are hurt.
Yeah, they are.
They're dropping like flies.
Yep.
And you did say Lamb is probably playing today.
I think Lamb is playing today. And Randy Gregory's back today. Tyron Smith is supposed to be back today, but not DeMarcus Lawrence and no Amari Cooper. And we lost another safety today.
Okay.
Not Malik Hooker, but another one.
Right.
So yesterday in practice.
So what's your gut feeling on this? They come back and the offense turns it on and they're good, or is this a close game?
My gut tells me it's a closer game than it should be. There's something to me with Dallas that when they're one of the few teams, and I shouldn't say this because I don't like injuries and using it as a discussion point, but when Dallas has injuries, man, they look bad. Dallas is that one team that every piece has to be there. To me, Amari Cooper went out and you look like doo-doo. Now, I will let you finish before I make my suggestion, but I see this being a close game. I'm seeing a 28-20, 28-23, something like that game. Dallas does pretty well on Thanksgiving. It is kind of their thing. Yeah. They do get a lot of energy. It's usually all I want to see before I make my pick, because I'll let you go first, is I just want to see Dallas come out and just make a statement running the ball. The Raiders' defensive line is not that good right now. Yep. Run the ball. Take the ball out of Dak's hands. Give him 200 yards and a 1 passing TD. Run Pollard and Zeke nonstop. Because as soon as you start throwing it and you get caught behind, they tried to play catch-up. And you know what happened when you tried to play catch-up? You lost, just like with the Broncos game. You got to make a statement early. Hold the ball for 7 minutes in the first quarter and run the shit out of it.
So is your offensive line better than the Bengals' offensive line?
Healthy. I would say I think we're better, but not right now. No.
Is Zeke better than Mixon?
Not right now. Probably not.
Okay. Are they close?
Yeah.
Are both close?
I would say Zeke to me is like a 13th ranked running back, 12th in the league right now.
Okay.
Mixon somewhere around 7 to 10, like you said.
Pollard's better than P. Ryan.
Yes.
Okay. Bengals rushed for 150 yards against the Raiders last week, 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
Mixon had 132 yards on 20-something carries. Yep. In the beginning of the game, Mixon was averaging 2 yards a carry.
Yeah.
It was just and then third and fourth quarter, they destroyed him. Yep. So that game plan that you just said is the game plan you need to do, and you need to be patient with it.
They need to do that. That's the problem.
Right, and you can't get frustrated with it, and your defense has to step up to keep it close.
Yeah, defense is 13th in the league right now. They're doing their job,
exactly,
but they're still allowing a couple big plays. I mean, I will go into in a minute, but I agree with you too, and that's the other thing is I would just want to see Dallas. Dak has the ability to lead the game with the ball in his hands, but here's the problem. When they get behind, players don't make catches. Like, they had 8 drops last week.
Right.
And 2 of the drops caused interceptions. And I'm like, you guys have to stop this.
Right.
You need to establish the run. You have Zeke and you have Pollard. Run the ball and do his little play action passes, and it works.
But just watch last week's game film from the Bengals-Raiders game.
Yep.
Burrow threw for just maybe 200 yards.
It was like 197 or something like that.
And a touchdown. And I think he had 2 touchdowns. And Mixon had 132 yards.
Yep.
Now, Mixon also had 5 catches out of the backfield, I believe.
Zeke usually gets a lot.
So you're looking at 27 touches, 28 touches for your lead running back. You wore them down.
Yeah.
And that's what Dallas needs to do today. If Dallas does that, they win easy. If not, if they get pass happy and they want to do that, I could see the Raiders winning. But I've got Dallas winning this game.
Yeah. I still think Dallas can win if they go pass heavy because I don't think the secondary is as good. The Raiders secondary is not that good. But I want to go. I'll take a minute and just say this because the problem that I have with Dallas right now is, they're 7-3, just like we started this. The Buccaneers are 7-3, and the Ravens are 7-3. But here's the problem, and I said it in the group the other day. It's like you had a really bad loss against the Broncos, really bad. You lost by 3 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the first game of the season, last-second field goal. You lost to Mahomes and company last week, but you held Mahomes to 19 points. Mm-hmm. None of those came from his arm. One was a running touchdown and 4 field goals. Right? You also got 2 interceptions off Patrick Mahomes. We couldn't score a touchdown. We got 3 field goals. Right. But the point is, you lost to the Buccaneers by a field goal, and you absolutely defensively embarrassed the Chiefs' offense, which they should have scored more. You look terrible on offense, by the way, Dallas. But I'm just using the point, like, those are 2 losses you shouldn't have had, but we still looked bad, but the other teams looked bad too. That's the key here. Is like, the one bad loss for me with the Dallas is the Broncos game. That doesn't happen. Not to the Broncos. I don't mind losing to the Chiefs. Like, right? I would have been more pissed if the Chiefs put 50 on us. But the fact that we held Mahomes to 2 interceptions, I like that. That gives me hope. The defense does well when the offense struggles. But here's the problem with Dallas. You have to make a statement today. If you can go 8-3, these other teams today could lose. I mean, there's a chance the Packers lose and go 8-4. There's a chance that the Buccaneers go 8-4 today. And you end up winning. You end up leading the conference.
Right.
You have to win this game at home against the Raiders. This is a great matchup, and this is where they need to start running the ball again because I've said this from day one. Last week against the Chiefs, do you know what Dallas did immediately? Threw the ball 3 times. If Kellen Moore listens to this podcast, please run the ball. Please run the ball. You have Zeke.
Hashtag Kellen Moore.
Hashtag Kellen Moore. You have Zeke and you have Pollard, and every time Zeke comes in, I get he's a difference of a back. He may not be the same. We don't know who he is because you're not utilizing him.
Yep.
Is he the same Zeke? We don't know. But until you find out, stop letting Dak throw 400 yards a game. He's good at it. Don't get me wrong. You win the game by running the ball and owning time of possession. Dallas's record with Dak and Zeke, since they were drafted, is like 61-5 when Zeke has 100 yards. Mm-hmm. Run, Zeke.
Yeah.
Free Zeke.
Free Zeke.
Free Zeke. All right, go ahead. I have Dallas winning this game.
Okay.
About 10 points. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Okay. The late game for tonight is Bills Saints.
Yep.
Saints without Kamara, without Winston.
I think Ingram might be out too. He's questionable. Isn't that their backup?
With I don't know, the Taysom Hill.
Yeah, no, the running back backup, I think, is Ingram. I think they re-signed him.
Yeah, but he's questionable.
Yeah, he's questionable, so I guess it would be Taysom Hill.
I thought you meant who's his backup.
Oh, maybe Taysom Hill. There's got to be some other dude undrafted from, like, Colorado State or something.
Yeah, and they have no wide receivers.
Not really. They have a couple coming on. They got a couple coming on, but they're not
They have
good.
good defense.
Yeah.
The Bills are so
frustrating,
up and down.
Yeah,
like
they're not consistent.
Being 6-4, some of the wins you have are unbelievable wins. But now that you're looking at the win against the Chiefs, I'm not putting it as high up there.
Yep.
Even though the Chiefs are won 5 straight and everything, blah blah blah. But this Bills team is in second place in the division now, by percentage points because they're 6-4. The Patriots are 7-4. I don't see the Saints having enough to beat Buffalo. Mm-hmm. But I think I've said that 3 or 4 times this year, where the team doesn't have enough to beat Buffalo, and they go and they beat Buffalo.
Yeah.
But I am Saints at home. You've got a liquored up New Orleans fan base. Wait until 8 o'clock on Thanksgiving Day to get there.
Rowdy.
It's, but I think this is more of I'm looking at it on paper and not thinking about just players playing. but I got the Bills winning this game. And but the Bills are in trouble.
Yeah, they are.
The Bills are in trouble. I have the Bills winning this game, and then you got to think they've got 2 games with New England coming up, and
They're going to be game of the weeks. I can't wait.
yes, and I don't care who you are, you do not want to play this New England team. Like New England has a unbelievably tough schedule the rest of the way.
Yeah.
But they are playing a brand of football that wins this time of year.
They're playing
wins at
Belichick
late,
football.
Yeah, late November, December, January football. This is what the Patriots are playing. You run the ball 20, 25 times a game. You turn the ball. You get turnovers.
Take Hella Moore. Take notes.
Right, but like, you don't make mistakes. You rely on your quarterback not to make mistakes.
Yep.
And the thing is people forget the first 3 Super Bowls the Patriots won. Brady wasn't a 4,000-yard passer. Brady wasn't this, dynamic person that he is. Now, granted, yes,
He didn't have a lot of turnovers, but
right, you break his career up into thirds. His first third, second third, and last third. He's a Hall of Famer in all thirds. Okay, don't get me wrong. By me saying that,
you can almost make it 4 at this point.
But Mac Jones is doing exactly what he needs to do.
Yeah.
And he's not. And this defense is scary. Like everybody was like, "Oh, they're losing Gilmore. They're losing this. They're losing that." It hasn't affected them at all
Because they're focusing on the one thing you have to do to win games. Keeping the ball on the ground, not letting the other team touch it, and not turning it over. Dallas of 2 years ago. Since Kellen Moore, and I'm real quick, since Kellen Moore's been there, he likes to throw the ball. I get it. That's not how Dallas wins games. Dallas wins ground and pound, keeping the ball away with DeMarco Murray. Now Zeke, what are you doing now? That's what the Patriots are doing. The Patriots are doing exactly what I want my team to do because it works.
Yes.
And people like when Mac Jones is winning, like he had like 180 yards last week, but they won. Stats don't matter.
Nope.
When you get to the playoffs, what matters is can you play good football? They're playing good football right now.
I got the Bills this week.
Yep.
I'm not confident in it.
Yeah.
But the only reason why I'm picking the Bills this week is because the Saints are so hurt.
Yeah.
If Kamara was playing, I'd probably lean more towards the Saints.
Yep.
But I've got the Bills winning this game.
I think I'm going to pick the Bills. I think for me, the Bills' offense, something doesn't feel right. Something feels broken. The defense is still second best in the league. They're stopping almost everybody they play against, in a way. Something doesn't feel right with the Bills, and they shouldn't be 6-4. They need to figure this out because if they don't make the playoffs, which they might still miss the playoffs at this point, AFC is very close.
Yes.
And they lose these games to the Patriots and all that, there's going to be a lot of question marks up there in the Buffalo area.
Yes.
Because this should have been a cakewalk division this year. Cakewalk. And now it's not. I'm putting my faith in the Bills because I think they have the better quarterback starting. I would not trust any of their running backs. I think their wide receivers, all 3, are better than even the first on the Saints. And in a way, the Bills' defense is better than the Saints right now. They're both like top 5. The Bills are the better team. They should win this game. I'm going to go with the Bills. Again, I'm not confident in that pick either.
Okay.
If Kamara was playing, this may be a different question.
Yes.
But I got the Bills.
All right. Steelers, Bengals.
Yep.
AFC game of the week, I feel. Over Browns, Ravens. Over Chargers, Broncos. Over Titans, Patriots.
I want to say this before I let you pick your game. I would say the Titans, Patriots, to me, they're not the same division, might be the biggest, but the entire AFC North matchups this week are huge. Browns, Ravens could change the whole division, and so could yours. I'd say the Browns and Ravens have better records than you guys, but both games, huge right now. So huge games.
If Browns win and Bengals win, Bengals are in first.
I know.
And it's this division is so weird.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see, like, the Ravens are in first. I don't feel like the Ravens are head and shoulders above any of these teams.
No.
I think the Bengals, Steelers, Browns, and Ravens are all equal.
I think with the Ravens, they're a good team, and every few weeks they have the ability to be the best team in history, but for 1 week only. And then it goes back to being a regular team again.
Yes. I'm going to pick the Bengals in this game.
Okay.
It's home. The Bengals don't sweep the Steelers ever.
No.
So this is why I'm having a hard time picking this game. They don't sweep the Steelers ever. But I just feel that this team is different.
Yep.
I think
They're
the
special.
bye week came at a good time.
Yep, they're special.
I feel like they figure, the offense is going to figure it out. Like, Burrow's got to stop making mistakes.
Yeah.
He's got to stop forcing the ball when he, and throw the ball away.
That was one of the things I mentioned in his rookie year last year is he made a lot of bad mistakes. His goods were goods, but his bads were really bad. And you got to eliminate those bads if you want to get to January.
And my thing is this, is they're putting the top on him now because Chase was beating everybody in the first half of the year. So they put the top on him, sort of like they're doing with Tyreek Hill.
Now you run Higgins and Mixon short.
Higgins, Mixon, Boyd. Boom, boom, boom. And if you think Chase can't run a short route, you haven't watched football.
Yeah.
Get down the field. Just dink and dunk down the field. What is wrong with that? It's still it's a 100-yard field.
Yeah.
Whether you get 80 in one play or you get 80 right 120. But whether you get 80 in one play or you get 80 in 16 plays, it doesn't matter. It's 80 yards.
See, I will say, and this is one of the things about like the Ravens making that joke, is that offense sells tickets. But playing good as a team is what makes you get trophies.
Yes.
That's my thing about Dallas, like why I want them to run the ball every play and then throw on a play action. I don't care if you take 15 minutes a drive. I don't care if the game ends 7-0. I don't care about the stats. I don't care about the MVP. Nobody cares.
And here's the thing.
Not one person listening to this or you or me care if any of their players win MVP or defensive. I don't care.
No.
Win the fucking games.
I don't. I have Mixon and I have Chase and I have Higgins in a lot of my fantasy leagues.
Yeah.
I don't care if they bomb as long as the Bengals win.
That's my thing.
I don't care. Yeah. Like, it is one of those things, yes, we have a chance to be a dynamic offense.
Yes.
Just keep the defense off the field because the defense is good enough to win as long as they're not on the field 30 minutes a game. And that's every defense.
Yeah.
But our defense is definitely good enough if you don't have them on the field for 30 minutes a game. So I have the Bengals winning this game. I feel that, again, I've said this about the Bengals before, and it scares me, but this team is different.
Yeah.
And I just hope they understand that they're different, and this window isn't open very long.
Yeah.
And any NFL team knows that. Like, when you have the window, take it.
Yep.
Don't be like, oh, well, we're actually a couple years away. No, take it. Take it by the bull by the horns and take it. And worry about next year.
Yep. So that was one of the things about what Dallas said. Like, this is the chance to take this division and not look back.
Right.
You have a really easy schedule for them, except for the Cardinals. Next 5 games, easy, man. You got to win today, though.
So I got the Bengals winning. I think the Steelers are okay, but there's a lot of deficiencies there. T.J. Watt's not healthy, and I don't think he's going to play. The defense isn't that good, and I do think the Bengals can run on this team. And if the Bengals stick with what they did against the Raiders and stay patient and stay consistent, I think the Bengals win this game.
I got the Bengals winning this game because I think on paper they're the better team right now. Again, so were the Bills, and the Bills have lost to bad teams. There's something about the Bengals, and I hate to say it because I know you bleed Bengals colors and I bleed Dallas colors, and as much as we like to say, oh, we don't hate each other's teams, in a way you kind of do. We give each other hell. I loved the Bengals till I met Mark. Like, they weren't a fan of it. I was like, Bengals are cool. Then I met Mark. I was like, yo, f the Bengals, man. But let's be real. The Bengals are playing a different breed of football that they've been needing to play for years. This is the team that Marvin Lewis needed. This was the team he needed. I'm not saying he could have ran it the same way, but the talent is here. The defense is here. Like, this is a good team, but the Steelers are the damn Steelers. It does not matter who their quarterback is, who their running back is, or well, it's obviously the coach. They've only had 3 in their history. But the point is they win games. I think it's only been like 3 or 4 coaches ever. Like, same thing with Dallas. I think Dallas only had like 6, like the 2 lowest teams. But like Patriots too. And the fact is, how many the Patriots had? Well, they've been around a lot longer than I thought, but it just feels like they've only had like 2 or 3 their entire history.
Yeah, it's 4. I want to say like 6.
Okay,
6
anything around 4 or 5
Belichick's
as well.
been around for 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. So. But like I said, the Bengals to me are a better team offensively and defensively. They're playing a different breed of football. Mixon is the guy. Mixon is the guy the ball has to go through. I'm sorry, Joe Burrow, it should not go through you.
Nope.
You are a great quarterback, but you make very bad 23-year-old decisions so far.
In the red zone.
I know, dude. I know. It's aggravating. But you have a high-quality, top-tier, MVP caliber running back. And when I say MVP caliber, I'm talking top 10, 20 discussion. He's very talented. Run the shit out of him. Throw it short and stop throwing it off the top, because one thing the Steelers do well is get interceptions this year. And this is a type of offense that all those defensive players for the Steelers are going, I'm going to get his ball. He's a rook. Well, second-year rook. So I got the Bengals winning this game. I am not confident at all, but I think they're the better team, and I hope they come out as hot as they were last week.
Yeah.
Because to me, the Steelers and the Raiders are very similar to me. I think they're both middle-tier average teams, and the Bengals are a little bit better. So Bengals better win this game.
Yes.
Or it's going to be a long season. But they're still better than they were last year. Let's be clear. But at this point, you're 6-4. You're playoffs now. You're not thinking, oh, we're better than last year. If we lose every game, we're good. No, you're 6-4 and the division's yours. You fucking get that division.
Exactly. Buccaneers, Colts.
Yeah.
Quick, easy for me. I know we've run probably a little long.
Yeah, we're like 35 minutes.
So I'm going to go pretty quick here. Colts.
Yeah.
They're playing better football.
Yeah.
They're at home. Yes, indoors. Brady plays very well in Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. This Buccaneers offense, I am not going to say is bad. I'm not going to say it's broken. It's nothing. This Buccaneers offense is very good. It's the defense. And yes, they're good against the run. But Jonathan Taylor's playing a different brand of football right now. And I got the Colts winning this game. And I think the Colts make a statement this week that, hey, AFC, we may not win our division, but we are going to be a tough out in the wild card game. So Ravens, anybody, whoever wins the North, whoever wins the West, watch out because we're coming.
Yep.
So I got the Colts.
So I have the Buccaneers. I want to pick the Colts, man. The Colts are playing great. But the thing to me is I still think they're deficient in one area. And don't get me wrong, the Buccaneers' defense is pretty bad. The Colts are really good at running the ball. Mm-hmm. They remind me of the team in their same division sometimes. They remind me right now of what the Titans do. The problem is the Titans aren't the best at throwing the ball. The Colts are, but the talent at wide receiver just isn't always there for me. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying Pittman's not good. I'm not saying these guys aren't good. You can still pass on the Buccaneers, but the problem I worry about is the Buccaneers' front is better than their secondary. Yes. We know the running back. I get it. Part of me still thinks the Buccaneers are one of the best teams in football right now. You still have that 44-year-old asshole on the other sideline who's going to play well. He will. He knows how to play football, and he knows how to win in this stadium. I have a feeling. What's up?
Oh, no, I didn't know he had that many yards rushing.
Who?
Jonathan Taylor.
It's like 1,800, isn't it? No, I'm just kidding. It's like 1,200 or something. Like
1,122.
Yeah, he had like 800 in the last 5 weeks or something crazy. I'm going with the Buccaneers. This is my gut pick. But the Colts are playing a good game of football. Carson Wentz is a good quarterback. I've said it for years, even though people don't think I have. He's a good quarterback, but I think the better quarterback is Tom Brady right now, and his offense is better. I see a high-scoring game.
Okay. All right. Panthers, Dolphins.
Who cares? I'm just kidding.
I mean, McCaffrey's back. McCaffrey's putting up numbers. DJ Moore put up good numbers last week. Cam played well. They lost. You lost to Washington. Dolphins are playing good football right now. They're not playing like, oh, my God, look at the Dolphins. But they're playing good football. Their defense is coming around, and they're playing better.
Slowly, but they're getting there.
And I have the Dolphins winning because the Dolphins are at home. This is one of the first weeks where I actually looked at it, and in any close game, I picked the home team, except in my upset of the week. I picked the road team. But I have the Dolphins winning this game because they're at home, and that's the only reason why I have the Dolphins winning this game.
So I'm going to go the opposite. I have the Panthers winning this game. I saw something out of the Panthers against DC where Cam Newton has changed the offense a little bit. The fact that he's dynamic enough to run, he's dynamic enough to do things with his feet and his arms, but then also if he gets in trouble, McCaffrey's right there. This is the running back he needed when he was there. This is a good team even though they lost.
I think McCaffrey was there when he was there.
Was he?
Yeah. McCaffrey's been in the league for a minute.
Like
Cam's only been away from Carolina for 2 years. This is a year.
This is third year.
No, this is only... He went to the Patriots the first year he was out of...
Oh, okay. But still, I guess you're right. So his first 2 years, but I mean, the years when he was MVP caliber, he didn't have this kind of talent in the backfield, did he?
The year they went to the Super Bowl, they did not have McCaffrey.
They had 2,000-yard wide receivers, though.
Yeah.
They had Moore and someone else, right?
Steve Smith
was there. I think he was, yeah. Okay. And Olsen was there and stuff like that. But The Panthers, to me, I think they can play well with Cam. I think obviously it sounds dumb, but he fits the system they're playing. Yes, I don't think he's the greatest quarterback. I've said that. DC's offense looked good last week because the Panthers' defense is still hurt. Washington on third down every time last week sacked him. That was great, but I don't see the Dolphins' defense doing that. I see, I don't know, gut feeling Panthers win this game because I still don't think the Dolphins are good.
Okay.
Even though they're winning a few games, let's be clear. Dolphins are doing well right now. I think the Panthers are a better team. Give them a few weeks. They could be a team to not want to play in the playoffs if they make it.
Right. Titans, Patriots. If Derrick Henry was playing, I don't think the Patriots can stop him.
Yep.
Okay? Derrick Henry's not playing. The Patriots just have to worry about the wide receivers. And the Patriots have a great secondary. And they have a good enough front seven to stop whoever's running and to get after Tannehill. The Titans will not get a turnover this week. And I think that's why the Patriots win.
Okay.
Patriots are just playing that brand of football that wins this time of year. And when Harris got hurt, he was out for a concussion, Stevenson rushed for 100 yards. Last week I said in the group chat, Harris and Stevenson are going to run the ball 20 to 35 times a game, have over 100 yards. Neither one of them are going to be fantasy relevant, but the Patriots are going to win the game, and that's all that matters. And that is what is happening. You're going to have two running backs with 60 to 70 yards. You're going to have a quarterback that throws for 180 to 250 and no turnovers, and your defense is going to bend, not break, not give up touchdowns. And that's how the Patriots win football. And if you go back to the beginning when Belichick first got to New England, that's how New England won football games. And this is what Belichick wants to do. Belichick never wanted a 4,000, 5,000-yard quarterback. He never wanted to be pass happy, ever.
Nope.
And I don't think Brady realistically is at his best when he's pass happy.
No.
But at the same time, They made it work, obviously, by winning Super Bowls and MVPs. But this Patriot team is dangerous. And besides the Colts, this team, I don't want to play this team. And the way it's looking right now is they could get home field, and you don't want to be in Gillette Stadium in New England in the middle of January. So I got the Patriots winning this game. I just think the Titans, sort of like the Raiders, too much. Too much, too many injuries. And losing Henry, you won the next week, and everybody's like, oh, they don't need Henry. Then, you lose to the Texans, and you see you're not balanced. And you got to be balanced. And so the Patriots win this game.
Other than the run game, Titans have been relying heavily on a great defense. They're underrated defense. They really are. They're good against the pass. They're good against everything, and they've been really good against young quarterbacks this year. I got the Patriots first off, just to make that clear. I would not sleep on the Titans without Derrick Henry. Even without Derrick Henry, they're still playing well. Yes, they got smacked in the mouth last week. I get that. But my gut feeling tells me Patriots are a better team. Mac Jones is playing better. Their offense is playing better. Everything about them is playing better. But I still have this gut feeling that at some point, as much as we're all enjoying it, the Cinderella story exists of rookie quarterbacks having super success. There's going to be games he's going to play bad. Yes, they're playing good football, but he's going to throw a pick six at some point and lose a game. He's going to make 22-year-old mistakes because that's what they do. He's playing really well, and he's less likely to make them because of having a fantastic coaching staff. They are putting him in the best position possible, the position that Lawrence deserved, the position that these other rookie quarterbacks deserve to have because they're all talented. Mac Jones is really, really talented. I underestimated him by far. I'm not going to lie. This is a game they have to win. They win this game, statement game. I get they don't have Derrick Henry on the other side, but this is a statement game, man. You win this game, it's going to be cold as shit in Foxborough this weekend. Win this game, then we'll keep talking. But I have the Patriots winning because they're hot right now. This was almost my lock of the week.
Okay. All right. Eagles, Giants. The only reason why I wanted to pick the Giants this week is because they fired Jason Garrett. So they're gonna do something offensively where Giants fans are gonna be like, "What the fuck were we doing all season?" But no, the Eagles are just playing better football. Eagles win this game. Jalen Hurts, pay attention to him. He's playing well, and it's a brand of football that will not win in the playoffs. I will state that because it's just like the Ravens. But pay attention to this kid. He's very good, and their he has a good connection with their wide receivers. And
both of them,
ever since they got rid of Ertz, which was smart, and Ertz is having a great second half of the year in and with the Cardinals.
Arizona.
But Goddard is playing
Goddard's a good player.
Very good.
Very
So
good player.
I got the Eagles winning this game, and NFC teams, watch out. This Eagle team's a lot better than you think.
This is my lock of the week. I have Philly winning this game.
Okay.
I think Philly's the better team right now, but I will say this. Last week, still a little hobbled. Philly's defense is not good. Their defensive line is not as good as advertised. They're like, oh, they have this guy, big dude, Fletcher. They're not good. They're allowing a lot of rushing yards. And Saquon announced this week that he feels like his rookie year again. Now, whatever that means, let's be clear, we don't know what that means.
All right, so what that means is this. First carry, he's going to, sprain his ankle, and he's going to be out for 3 weeks. So
this is why I mentioned that him and McCaffrey at times got to be careful because people like Saquon this. I said at the beginning of the year, he's overrated because of all the injuries. Can he be good again? Yeah. Could the Giants win this game? Sure. The Giants' offense is better than Philly's offense. The problem is Daniel Jones likes to turn the ball over, and their defense isn't that bad. Let's be clear. They're not that bad of a defense. They didn't look that bad against the Buccaneers. So I will go in this. I do have this as lock of the week. Philly's going to win this game, but Saquon could have a 100-yard game. Saquon could run. Galladay could ball out this game, and I could very easily see the Giants winning, which would make me happy because that's one less win for the Eagles, who is right on our tail. Well,
yes.
They're still 4 games behind, but in a way they're 3, but they're right on our tail. So
okay. Next two games are the worst games of the season.
we can make them quick if you
Okay.
want.
Falcons, Jaguars.
Yeah.
Jaguars are at home. Jaguars win.
Yep. Falcon. I can't spell. I wrote FCons. FCons at Jaguars. Upset of the week. I got the Jaguars winning this game.
Are the Falcons favored?
Yes.
Wow.
They were favored by 3.
All right. Yeah.
That's not even the home field advantage favoritism. I got the Jaguars winning this game. The spread is 3. I got them beating the spread. I got Lawrence coming out and looking like Lawrence this week.
Okay.
Because Robinson's healthy too.
Yep.
I mean, they're getting healthy.
Yep.
I get Urban Meyer's a fucking disaster, but maybe they should get Jason Garrett next year.
All right. So it's funny because the 2 worst games.
Yeah.
One is your upset, the other one's my upset.
Okay.
So this next one is my upset of the week. It's Jets-Texans.
Yeah.
Texans just had a great win against the Titans, but they come back and they lose to the Joe Flacco Jets, and the Jets win this game. Upset of the week.
But Flacco's not playing this week. Zach Wilson's starting this week. They announced.
Son of a bitch.
I have the Jets winning.
I still got the Jets.
I think the Jets are going to win. Houston's defense is bad. Elijah Moore's in. Ty Johnson's going to get the start, and I think he's the best running back on their team. I'm not a coach, but I think he's the best running back.
Okay.
Elijah Moore, Crowder, you have great talent. It's time to show off, and it's time for the quarterback who starts there to go, I'm tired of you talking about Mac Jones. Pay attention to me. Not saying he's going to do it, but I want to see him do it because I still think he's extremely talented.
Okay.
But it's the fucking Jets, so let's be clear. Jets are winning.
Chargers, Broncos. Go ahead. Chargers are your baby.
So we talked about this before we started. We talked about it that the Broncos, to me, are a very one-dimensional team. I think they have a decent defense, but here's my problem. When both their wide receivers, Judy and Sutton, have been healthy, they can't target both. Bridgewater doesn't know how to target multiple players. Their offense also isn't explosive enough. Chargers looked good last week. Here's my other part that I told Mark before we started. The Chargers are allowing the second least yards to wide receivers in the league. The second least. I don't trust the Broncos offense. I'm going with the Chargers, and I'm not confident in this pick. The Chargers have not looked as good as I thought they were going to be this year, but I still think the Chargers have the better quarterback. I think Mark would agree. I think the Chargers have the better running back. Mark would probably agree. I also think they have both their wide receivers are better than the other side. Cortland Sutton's a stud. The Broncos have a little bit better defense, but I'm going to roll with the Chargers here. I think the Chargers win this game at the Broncos. I think it's a low-scoring game, field goal winning, fourth quarter type game, and I don't think either team looks that good. I think it's an ugly game, but okay. I got the Chargers winning this game, and I'm not confident in that. But I'm going with the talent is. I think the talent's better.
Yep. I'm picking the Broncos. No reason other than, again, what I've said, what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of my sense of the home teams. Mm-hmm. If they're equal, I'm going with the home team. The Chargers have not impressed me. Like last week against the Steelers team that had no business keeping up with them. The Steelers kept up with them. The Steelers and the Broncos play a very similar offense. And I think the wide receivers and tight end for the Broncos are better than the Steelers.
Yes.
And I think the dual running back of the Broncos is better than Najee Harris, especially since Najee Harris is not used properly in Pittsburgh.
No.
But the Chargers, to me, are not coached well.
No. I don't think they have a very good coach at all.
I don't either, and I think that's going to be their downfall.
Yeah.
And I do feel like I like the Broncos this game for the only reason why is because they're at home. If the Chargers were at home, I'd pick the Chargers by 3, but I think the Broncos are at home. I think the Broncos will win by 3.
And that's fair. I think for me, the hard part for me with the Broncos versus the Chargers is that the Chargers have more of the talent, and I just don't like Bridgewater in that system. I think he's a decent quarterback, but they never get the offensive yardage in the passing game. That's the thing. Is you're not passing on the Chargers right now because they're one of the best secondaries in the league. You can run on them, but here's my problem is that friggin' Herbert's only a 1,000-yard game away. Like, he can pop off any minute, and that's the thing you don't know. Broncos defense is still good. This game could go either way. The reason I picked the Chargers, one, they have one more win and their quarterback's better.
Okay.
But Broncos win, I'm not going to go, wow, the Chargers. I'm like, wow, like the Broncos beat Dallas a few weeks ago easily. Right. So anything could happen. Any given week, right?
Yep. Game of the week in the NFC right here.
Yeah.
Either this one or the next one. Rams-Packers.
Record-wise, this one people care about more.
Rams-Packers.
Yep.
Packers are finding a way to win.
Yeah.
It's not sexy. Nope. It's not great. I think losing Aaron Jones, I think the Packers are going to realize Aaron Jones is a difference maker. A.J. Dillon is good.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. He's good. I don't think he's right now in his career lead back good.
No.
So I think he can be. I mean, this kid's a stud, but I just don't think he's there yet.
Yeah.
I think the Rams... The funny thing is everybody's like, oh, well, they got Odell, so they're not going to miss Woods. Woods is
very special.
By far a better route runner than Odell.
And a catcher.
Yes. I feel like this team is I can't think of a word that I'm trying to describe the Rams. Like, the last 2 games, I'm just like... what happened?
Yeah.
You're better than this. Mm-hmm. But then I look at it and I'm like, are you?
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. I think the same thing, like, are you good? Like, yeah, you have some wins. Yeah, you have Stafford. Yeah, you have this. But, like, you lost one wide receiver and you traded for another middle linebacker. Great. But, like, are you good?
Right.
Like,
you traded for names.
Yeah.
You didn't trade for technically talent that can put you over the top.
Yeah, you traded for names, and some of the names on your defense are having worse seasons than a rookie that plays in Dallas. Like, they're just names at this point. Like, they're not producing like you want them to. Right. Matthew Stafford is a great quarterback, but he's overthrowing his players. You have no run game. Like, at this point, are they the worst 8-3 team, 7-3 team? Like, that's a real question to ask.
Cooper Kupp and Devontae Adams are 2 of the most special wide receivers in the game, and they're fun to watch because they get open. They're undersized.
Cooper Kupp might be the best wide receiver in the league right now.
And Devontae Adams.
I think Cooper Kupp is like 800 more yards than everybody else.
But
yeah,
I would take. But I just it's at Lambeau.
Yeah.
Late November.
Yep.
In Lambeau.
Yep.
It could be 50 degrees at game time and a blizzard at halftime.
Yep.
Like, I have the Packers winning this game. I have the Packers winning because I just don't think the Rams understand what they have and what to do.
Yep.
And that's going to end up being the downfall to the Rams, just like it was in the Super Bowl the year they lost to the Patriots, and just like it was last year where they think they're a team that they're not. And that's why the Rams, I think, are going to lose this game.
So I have the Packers as well, mainly because of the 3-point home favorite. That's part of the reason I think both these teams are good teams, but I will say I think the Rams are just – something just feels missing. It's almost like they have everything about them is a good car, but they just have somebody unplugged one cylinder. Just something doesn't feel right, and they're like, well, they lost Robert Woods. I noticed it week 1. Like, they're talented, but I still feel like they don't have enough to make a push wild card round because the NFC is really top heavy. Like, again, the Rams are good. Do the Rams and Dallas play? Are you confident in either team? No, like to me, the Rams and Dallas are similar teams where like you got to figure out that missing cog. What is that one thing missing to put you to the Buccaneers level? Which they're even missing shit. The point is, I think the Packers are playing better.
We've sworn a lot in this one.
It's fine.
I know it's our Thanksgiving episode, so like we're supposed to be,
I am thankful. I'm thankful that I can have this podcast on Thanksgiving.
All
right. So fuck them. So. The Packers, to me, have the better like again, they have Devontae Adams. I really, really like A.J. Dillon. I agree with you. I don't think he's a lead back ready now, but he could start on 29 other teams.
Yes.
Like, he's very talented.
Not 29, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, I get what you're saying.
I think he's very, very talented. The Packers win this game because it's Lambeau. And Rodgers has been there his whole career. Yeah. It's a well-oiled machine they have there. They know what they want. They know their defense is They know their offense is great. LaFleur is a great coach. They know what they're doing. Yeah. And that's my thing. I just don't think the Rams are 100% oiled properly. There's some things missing. And this is the time for the Packers to take advantage at home in November.
Yes.
This is when they do it. So I got the Packers winning this game.
All right.
Get ready, guys. I know what's about to happen because we know what game's next in line.
Vikings 49ers.
Mark's little child.
Fuck the Vikings. All right? Since I've started this hashtag of fuck the Vikings haven't lost. So I said I wasn't going to pick the Vikings ever again after they lost that game that I had as a lock of the week and everything. So but I'm picking the 49ers because I'm sticking to my word.
Yep.
But I know for a fact the Vikings are going to win this game.
Yep.
49ers the 49ers are home. I like the 49ers. I like the way they're playing right now. I think they found a diamond and I can't even call him a diamond in the rough, but they're using him the way he should be used, which is Deebo Samuel, which is just put the ball in his hands.
Yeah, let him get the yak yards.
Right, and
he's talented.
Even running the ball, like just put the ball in his hands. You have Kittle playing at Kittle ball, which he's back. Like he's a number one tight end, and he's playing very well, and he's back. And Ayuk is playing really well.
Yep.
And you have a running back by committee when Elijah Moore's not in there. Is it Elijah? It's not Elijah Moore.
The running back?
Mitchell.
Elijah Mitchell.
Who's
probably the best running back on their team. When they're all healthy, he's really talented.
Yep. Vikings figured out they have Justin Jefferson last week.
Finally.
And Thielen playing well. Cooks is unbelievable. But here's the thing about the Vikings. The Vikings will be up 20 points with 5 minutes left and be up 3 with a minute left and and don't have the ball.
Yeah.
They actually Kirk Cousins threw an interception. But they said it wasn't an interception. I didn't watch the game, so I don't know if it was an interception or it wasn't.
Looks like an interception to me, but whatever.
And they should have lost that game. But they, I want to look through, as you're talking about this game, and we talk about the others, I want to look at the Vikings schedule, and I want to see how many of their games have been by more than 3 points.
Okay. So, because Mark was so high on the Vikings all year, and then he said he's not picking them no more, I'm going Vikings with this game. I didn't pick it, but I will now. I'm going to pick the Vikings. Mark's going to just sit there and be like, you dick. The Vikings are playing better football right now. I think they have a great running back in Dalvin Cook, and Kirk Cousins is playing extremely efficient. He's not putting up gaudy numbers, but he is efficient. He's playing, like Mac Jones and him are playing similar. Super efficient, not turning the ball over. And can you hear me now?
Trying to get ESPN. There we go.
He's putting his phone all around the room, like he's trying to get signal. I think the Vikings are just a little bit better right now. The 49ers, to me, I'm not sold on even healthy. I'm not sold on them. I don't know what it is. I haven't really done a deep dive into the 49ers, but something just doesn't feel right. They kind of remind me of a worse version of the Rams. Just cognitive, their cogs aren't spinning at the right rate. I got the Vikings winning this game, and this is a pretty easy decision for me. All right, go ahead. You're reading something.
7 games of 4 or less.
Out of their 11 games.
Yep. 1 game was 30-17. Yeah. 1 game was 14-7. And 1 game was 27-20.
So you know what happened? All those games were that close, and you were ride or die with these Vikings. You know what that reminds me of? My ride or die Chargers last year.
Yeah.
They had 7 games of 3 points or less.
Yep.
They're good, right? The Chargers were good last year, but you lost meaningful games. Same thing with the Vikings. They're good, but they're going to keep losing games they shouldn't. And they're going to be very bad at finishing it. Two things Kirk Cousins is bad at: finishing fourth quarter games and winning in primetime.
Yes.
And everybody's like, well, he won that one game. What is he, won an 80 on primetime? Like, but what time is his game at?
It's
a 4 o'clock game. He might lose.
It's almost nighttime at 4 o'clock.
It's almost nighttime. He can play at noon. He just can't play at night.
All right, so now we've got Browns-Ravens, Sunday Night Football. Okay, so the Browns 2 weeks ago were back, and they were playing unbelievable football. They beat the Bengals 41 to something, and they're back. And then they go to New England, and they crap the bed.
Yep.
And then they go to Detroit, or they played Detroit last week, and they only win by 3, and they're horrible again. Okay, if the Ravens are so good, they beat the Lions by a point on a 66-yard field goal. Okay, so lose me with only beating the Lions by 3. A win's a win. Yeah, their offense isn't playing good. Don't get me wrong.
We know.
But Ravens are 7-3, Bengals are 6-4, Steelers are 5-4-1, Cleveland is 6-5. Okay, if it works out this week, where say the Steelers beat the Bengals and the Browns beat the Ravens, you have a game difference between all 3 teams for first place. So, and 6-5, you're in the playoff hunt. I'm sorry. Baker Mayfield isn't playing very well. Who does he have?
Yeah.
You tell me a wide receiver on their team besides Jarvis Landry.
Who's going to get double covered this week?
And yes, Hunt is back. You have Chubb.
Yeah.
Chubb, feed Chubb. If you learned anything in the last few weeks, feed Chubb.
Feed Chubb,
ball.
and when you want to throw it to Kareem Hunt.
And I just look at this Cleveland team, and yes, they're up and down. Yes, their offense is anemic at times. But so are the Ravens.
Yeah.
And the Ravens, to me, don't have that it yet. The Ravens are winning games, and we don't know how. And I've said that weeks and weeks of right now. I have more faith in Chubb and Hunt than I have in anybody on the Ravens besides Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
I think this front 4 can get enough pressure on Lamar, and you drop 7, because not a single person on that running game besides Lamar is scary.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Freeman, not scary.
No.
Williams, not scary.
J.K. Dobbins healthy, been a different story.
Yes, J.K. Dobbins or Gus Edwards.
Yeah.
This Ravens team with either one of those is a scary team.
Different, yep. But you brought in 3 old-ass dudes who haven't been relevant since I was in high school.
Right.
But yeah.
So the Browns every other week play well.
Yep.
So I got the Browns winning this week. I have the Browns winning this week. It's a division game. I don't care who you're playing in the division. It's just like the Steelers, Bengals. Last year, the Steelers were won 11 in a row. And they lost I think it was one game, and then they played the Bengals.
Yeah.
Bengals didn't have Burrow. They didn't have Mixon, and the Bengals beat the Steelers. You would not have picked that ever. But I look at it as it's a division game. The Browns have pride.
Yeah.
And I do believe the team believes in Baker. And Baker's playing hurt.
Yeah.
This man is playing on one leg and one arm. And I got the Browns.
Yeah.
I went long on that, but I got the Browns.
It's all good. The Ravens are, to me, I think they're a good team. I mean, they're 7-3. They obviously have been winning games they need to win. They're doing what they need to do to win. But one thing Mark said, which I agree with, which I would have said if he didn't, is the Chubb and Hunt together is a hard dynamic duo to stop. The thing is any defense, if they would just do their job, can figure out that stopping Lamar, sorry Ravens fans, is not that hard to do because he can't propel the ball down the field. You just have to get some help in the corners to blitz on the outside. Force him up the middle, and then you have a linebacker there. He's really good, but the problem is people keep playing prevent and cover 3 against a quarterback that is 80% of the offense.
Yeah.
Go after him. Leave one wide receiver open. I bet if you leave Hollywood Brown alone 80 yards downfield, Lamar still can't get the ball to him.
Right, but do you think this front 4 of Cleveland is good enough to get pressure against
Yes.
a very bad offensive line, and stay in your lanes and have those linebackers right there.
The problem, though, is the problem you still have is Lamar outside the pocket. Your defensive linemen your ends aren't fast enough to chase him, so you're going to have a linebacker or a corner play close still and play that option type thing, that just a spy. Just sit there and watch. Wherever Lamar goes, you go. And the linebackers for the Browns aren't that bad. Yes, they're still beat up. So for me, I see this being a low-scoring game. I really do. I see this being a game of lots of running. You could see 500 yards rushing between the two of these teams.
Okay.
But I have the Browns squeaking this out because Chubb is just the best player. Out of these two teams playing, Chubb's the best player in the entire field.
Okay.
And you give the ball to him, they win this game. I got a low-scoring 14-10 game, and I think both teams on offense, passing, look bad. I really do.
All right. Last game of the season. Last game of the week is Seahawks-Washington.
Well, depending on the score of this game, it could be the last game of the season for both these teams.
Yeah, and you're looked at it, beginning of the season, you looked at this as a marquee matchup.
Yeah.
Beginning of the season. Like, this was a Monday night game.
Because we thought both these teams would have 7 wins.
Yes, and now you're looking at it as the Seahawks are leaking badly, and Washington is playing decent.
Excuse me.
Surprisingly, who has the better record without looking?
Oh, I already know who it is. It's Washington.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Washington. And
I would think Seattle would have a few more wins if Russell didn't get hurt. I think that's a lot to do with it. But still, they're not there.
No, they're not very good. And Lockett and Metcalf aren't getting the ball.
No.
They don't have a running back.
The
Collins
offensive line is doo-doo.
Yes, and their defense isn't good.
No.
The one thing I will say about Washington all year is their offense has been consistent.
Consistently average.
Yes,
That's all you have to be.
That's all
exactly.
you have to be.
I mean, look at New England. Same thing. Consistently average.
Yep. The defense has played very well the last couple weeks.
Yep.
2 wins
Without Chase Young.
Without Chase. Yes, and
it's weird.
But here's the thing: if Gibson could figure out how not to fumble, this team would be dangerous.
He's Zeke of last year, right?
You know, and Nate said it in the group chat. He's like, if Gibson could figure out how to hold on to the ball, this man would be a top 10 running back in the league. Easy. Like
Zeke had 6 fumbles last year. He has none this year. And you got to fix that fumbling issue.
Terry McLaurin is
monster.
God, I mean, putting up numbers without a quarterback, I'm doing air quotes. I'm doing the stupid air quotes. Doing it without a quarterback.
Yeah.
Heineke is decent.
Yeah.
He's not bad. He's not good.
He's
but
still
he's not,
young. He's only played like 10 total games. Like
whereas if you want to turn the offense over to him and build your team around him,
I think you can.
I think you can. I don't think I don't think he's the reason why you're losing.
No.
Okay, or why you have a losing record.
Yeah.
But that being said, this is the last week, just like I said with the Vikings. This is the last time I will ever pick Washington if they lose this week.
Yeah.
They are the better team. They are at home, and they're playing better football.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't hear the rumors in Washington like you hear in Seattle.
Yeah.
Seattle is I'm not going to. You hear the whispers. They're not happy. The team is very upset with the direction it's going. It's where's Russ going to be next year? Like,
you have a Hall of Fame coach that just needs a new opportunity. The whole team needs to be imploded.
Yes, and so I'm picking Washington this week.
Yep.
If Washington figures out a way to lose this week, I am never picking Washington again. And
This
season.
Yeah.
And every week that it's not only going to be fuck the Vikings, it's going to be fuck the Redskins, Washington football team.
You can't say fuck the Redskins, man. We'll get canceled real fucking quick.
But I just think Washington's playing really well right now. Yeah. And again, Washington is a 500 football team. As constituted right now, they're a 500 football team.
Well, they're 4-6.
No, what I'm saying is I think they're going to finish 9-8, 8-9, something like that. I really do. Like I see that
kind of. They got to play Dallas twice still.
But I see that kind of run in them. And if they lose this week, I can see them losing every single game for the rest of the year. Yep. So I'm picking Washington. They're at home. They're playing really well the last couple weeks. Let the momentum roll, and that's why I got them.
I don't want to go too long into this game. I have Washington winning it. I wanted to pick them as the upset of the week, but they're favored, so I can't. They're favored by 4, 3 points to the home field, and 1, I guess, more. Could this be a game I could see Seattle winning? Of course I could. The secondary for DC is doo-doo. It's bad. Your front seven is great. I mean, you're doing really well. You did really good against Cam Newton running and passing the ball. But here's the problem. Seattle doesn't run the ball. They're not very good at it.
Yeah.
They pass the ball because they have two great wide receivers. If Seattle can get 4, maybe 3 seconds, 3 is all you need. Again, Dak only had 1.8 seconds last week per throw. 3 seconds to give Russell time to throw. He's going to cook this defense, the secondary. But for some reason, Washington gets after it, and that's because Cam Newton holds onto the ball for an hour and a half. It's easy to get to them like that.
Yeah.
That's not me underrating DC. They're playing great. Heineke is their quarterback right now, and I think he should be next year because I watch a lot of college football. There ain't no quarterbacks worth drafting if you're DC, especially finishing 15th.
Okay, but if there's a free agent out there...
Depending on the free agent.
So say there's a... Keep going.
Yeah.
Let me think of a
So
player.
for me, like Washington, like you have the offense, you have the talent, you have all this kind of stuff, and for the money right now, you have Heineke. If you don't have the cap space to sign one of the free agents he's going to come up with, you roll with Heineke because I still don't think you think you're a playoff caliber team maybe next year still. I still think you might be a season or 2 away. You roll with Heineke now. Unless that one free agent you've been looking for is there. And
a year with Roethlisberger?
No.
Okay.
No.
Would you take Tyrod Taylor or
No.
a Teddy Bridgewater?
No.
Would you take Drew Lock?
No. If I'm DC, none of those are anybody I'm looking for.
Kirk
Cousins?
Kirk Cousins?
Yes.
Would you take him
Yes.
back?
Yes.
Okay.
I would. Over everybody else right now.
I'm trying to think of if there's free agents here's a scenario.
Okay.
Would you take Mitchell Trubisky?
Borderline, yes. Okay. I know that's hard to say, but borderline I still think he's a good quarterback. And honestly, the backup in Philly, what's his name? Minshew. Minshew not a bad quarterback either.
Okay.
Even if Garoppolo's available, Garoppolo.
Okay, would you sell the farm for Deshaun Watson if he's cleared?
Yes, you do. At this point, I think you see your offense is good. And I said last year, if you're DC, you don't sell the farm. I did. I was one who said it. But I think with you see your defense is okay. You need a few pieces. I think you go after Deshaun Watson. I think you just hope your defense figures it out or a coaching change or something. I think Deshaun Watson is a huge 3 or 4 win difference on this team.
Okay.
Huge. But that's my thing about DC is you don't want to change much now. There's not much you can do. Fitzpatrick should get the boot as soon as he's healthy.
I think that what happened with DC is they made the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
And the fan base and the national media sort of took that and said they're here.
Yeah.
And where every Washington fan, and I think Nate and Logan, and I'll ask them in the chat, put this question in the chat for me. Say, Mark's asking this question. I want to figure out, if they didn't make the playoffs last year, okay, this season is still a little bit of a disappointment as of right now.
Yeah.
But would they have thought they were still a year or 2 away with the team they had last year, but they made the playoffs, so then they thought they were there? Does that make sense?
Yeah. If you didn't make the playoffs at DC,
would you have said your team is a year or 2 away, or would you say no, it's this year, we're going to be good again? Does that am I asking that properly?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I said if you didn't make the playoffs last year, DC to them,
yeah,
would you have said you were still a year or 2 away, or would you have said this year was your year?
Okay, yes. And that's what I want to know. And again, and I'm going to say this with the Bengals, because both Washington and the Bengals are rebuilding. The Bengals only won 5 games last year.
Yeah.
2 less than Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Bengals were picked to finish last in their division this year. Washington was finished to pick first in their division this year.
Mm-hmm.
Why? You know what I mean? And it's because it's the play. You made the playoffs, and so the Bengals are now a 6-win team. Washington's a 4-win team,
mm-hmm.
and
the hype is different,
right? So it's I'm sort of wondering, and it's like the Dolphins. Dolphins were a 10-win team last
mm-hmm.
year. Was it 10 wins because they played a last place schedule?
Yeah.
And now they play a harder schedule
mm-hmm.
and injuries, and they overrated a couple positions? Yeah. Or is it that they were still a year or 2 away, which we kept saying last year about the Dolphins? They were a year or 2 away with their draft picks. I said the same thing about
Dallas. Washington last year. I still think they're a year or 2 away because I still don't think their coaching and all that they have is still 100% confident that they're the answer. And it's no offense to their coach. I'm still just concerned that they don't have all the pieces in play. they won all those games last year with the coach they had. I'm like, okay, I understand that. I understand you won, but here's the problem. This is year 2. You don't let him go yet, but at some point, his first year hitting the playoffs, you have a lot to recover from that. Now the ceiling is way up here, and you are not meeting that.
If you win 7 games again,
you're good. You're good.
You know what I mean? So that's the thing. Like you're 7-10.
Yeah.
You're technically a game worse than you were last year, only because there's a game. No, you're the same as you were last year because they lost the first playoff game, so they were 7-10.
And here's the thing. The thing about DC, though, is the same thing. Yes, you are kind of in the same spot you were last year. Here's the thing, though, is every other team in the division has more wins or tied with you right now. Yeah. That means either you've gotten worse or they were just all beat up, which I'm going with the latter. Yeah. Eagles had so many injuries. The Giants had, and Dallas, I couldn't name one player on the field for half their games.
Yeah.
So this is the thing, is like this is a very competitive division. We're not downgrading DC. I got DC winning this game, but DC, you got to win this game. Yeah. If you have any chance of getting to the playoffs or any chance of upsetting these teams, if all 3 other NFC's team lose this week, Dallas can pretty much bench the rest of the year. In a way, they're going to have a 4-game lead. So at this point, you have to win this game, DC, and I hope they do. So with that, nobody's going to be hearing this. Obviously, it'll hear it tomorrow. Today is Thanksgiving. Yep. I'm going to post it, so you guys will be hearing this on Friday. When you do hear this, I hope your stomachs don't hurt too bad from all the food you guys ate.
Yep, and also, just so everybody knows, Hans is still winless in Wet Booty.
I am. I'm projected to win again this week. I do want to ask you a question before we get done. We're an hour and 14 in, so because I know we have food to make before we go to Thanksgiving tonight. Would you like to see the division, the NFL make a change to the Thanksgiving night game? Instead of being random, would you like it to be a divisional rivalry every year of any division? Like a Green Bay and Vikings or Ravens and Steelers. Every year
I would have loved to have seen the Browns-Ravens or Steelers-Bengals tonight.
Yep, or Patriots-Bills. Like every year, that 8 o'clock game is a big rivalry game.
I would
think
love
that
to
would
have
be
seen
great.
that. I don't like that it's an AFC versus NFC team
don't
this
either.
year. But
a Chargers-Chiefs game would be sick at night.
Yeah,
anything
something like
that.
I mean, even if it's Bears-Packers.
Exactly. It just feels... I just think, and for me, I think Dallas and DC should always play Thanksgiving. I'm just weird like that. I'd love to see it. But that's what I'm asking. I asked this the other day to a friend of mine. I'm like, wouldn't it be nice that you watch the Lions? You're excited. Whether the Lions are bad, you're like, it's the first game of Thanksgiving. Then Dallas, everybody watches. And the night game, you're like,
yeah. Well, the funny thing is every Thanksgiving, I root for the Lions.
Yeah, I do too.
Every Thanksgiving.
There's something about them.
Yeah, and so before we end, I just have this one question. If you lived in Detroit or you lived in Dallas, would you make it a family tradition to go to the game every year?
So I almost went last year. Was supposed to go, but then COVID was a thing. So there was no fans, obviously, at the game. But my stepdad was talking about getting tickets for us to go for the first time and wanted to make it a yearly Thanksgiving trip. Yeah. I would love to do that. Okay. Again, I love turkey, but I'd love to be there.
Even if your team's bad, like the Lions, they're bad. You'd go, like Thanksgiving Day, you'd go.
Hell yeah. Because they play at noon. You have enough time to get home and eat turkey.
True.
Dallas game is the problem. It's right in the middle of turkey. Right? So
but everybody have a great Thanksgiving. Be safe, and we'll talk to you next week.
Talk to you guys next week. See ya.